talked several times about you just going live on me. Oh, did we figure out why why we're blurry? Did we ever figure that out?
No, it's something with the
OBS.
No, with the I don't know. I have not figured it out.
But we are.
It's not the software.
It's the hardware.
It's not the software on my computer. I don't think.
Okay.
Because the quality is different between Facebook and Twitch.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and
I'm getting my computer.
Oh. Okay. And once again, we have started just a little. Man, Johnny, I look blurry on the OBS. I can see it. I can literally see it. Where's my frame? You think that's the focus? Are we on manual? Sorry. We always start a little early. No. We start on time. We're just not ready at that time. Because we don't have a producer, so Johnny has to go and fiddle with the stuff because we're in his home, and I don't want to touch his computer for obvious reasons. At least not any of the peripherals. I don't want to touch the keyboard. I don't want to touch the mouse. And I definitely don't want my knees to be anywhere near the underneath of that desk. I don't want my butt on the same chair, clothed or not. Johnny, I don't know. You
don't know.
When you're having alone times in that chair in front of your computer, do you take the pants all the way off?
Oh, you're gone.
That's the last thing it's... So does this mean we have to start a whole new is it a whole new?
It's still streaming. I just closed the feed from the camera.
Okay, so that was like big. Johnny, do you take your pants all the way off? Boo! Experiencing technical difficulties. All right, Johnny's fine tweaking some stuff, so we're not so blurry. We've had this blurriness issue, and honestly, it's a little embarrassing because the plan is to take this footage and edit it down into something that doesn't feel so much like a live stream, and then put it out in perpetuity as, a sort of better quality video. But we've just been, we honestly need to take some time in the middle of the week to come over and just figure it out. Johnny is going to do some fine adjustments on the computer, not on the computer, on the camera, which has an onboard computer. Most things do have, like USBs, like they themselves are very, very small and simplistic computation units. They have things like firmware on them and stuff like that. I don't think they have true CPUs. I don't know, Johnny. You're the hardware guy. Do USBs have true CPUs on them?
I don't believe so.
No? Yeah, they don't make any decisions about what to do. Okay, so obviously today we're going to be talking a little bit about Captain Marvel. Our tendency is to talk about ourselves first and then Captain Marvel. I think I want to get straight into it just as kind of an experiment. Because I don't want people to see, I'm sure we have some sort of Captain Marvel title that's like WarPod 109, Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel Crunch cereal. I can't say the word Captain without saying Crunch. I was insufferable in the movie theater. Just crunch, 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 crunch. Although, did they say Captain Marvel one time in the movie?
No.
Like, I was waiting for it for part of the movie?
No, they only hinted at when he was talking about the Marvels, the
Marvelettes?
Yeah. That's the only time they brought that up. That's when she would have gotten and figured out her name later.
So it has a complete disconnect from the title? Because, like, the reason that she called herself Captain Marvel was because of her mentor, Marvel, who, upon coming to this planet, started calling himself Captain Marvel because of the similarity between his name and the English word. Of course, they had nothing. Actually, you know what? Now, I'll talk about it during the show proper. Not that this isn't the show proper, our lovely live audience. But this is my personal musings, and we're gonna get to some points later on. Which like nobody wants to hear us review this movie, right?
Why wouldn't they?
Well, Brie Larson said don't. She said we shouldn't.
She did?
Because we're white.
Did she really say that?
Yeah.
Well, I think you want to do
exactly that. But that's been part of the controversy. Which honestly, Johnny, do you even want to talk about the controversy of this movie, or just judge it on the movie itself?
I think we always just judge it on the movie itself.
No.
They can't hear me. You have to tell them what I said.
Actually, looking at the footage later on, they can usually hear you relatively well. I would speak up if, like at this juncture.
Woo!
There's no there's no fix, is there?
You're not that blurry here.
You're not wearing your glasses.
You're not that blurry.
Okay. Then let's start the show.
Not nearly as much as what's wrong on Facebook.
All the time. Johnny's not always on time. No. All the time. There's your frame. All right. Good throw. Why did you take off your hat?
Because it hides my face.
But
That's how I make my money.
But, like, you never discipline anything about your appearance for the show.
I do. A little.
One time you put on a snow cap.
I was showing it off because it was my
From the
mic on?
90s? No, it's not on. Of course it's not on. It's off.
Oh, okay. No, I was wearing that to show it off because it was a Power Ranger one.
Okay, it looked weird. Okay. Okay. So, Johnny, are there any final steps, or are we ready to start the show?
Oh, I need to change the picture for YouTube. Otherwise, people think we're playing. Did we? No. What was the last time we fucking streamed? Was the Umbrella Academy stuff?
Maybe, yeah, because we didn't stream this, did we?
Mm-mm.
We just made videos of it, yeah.
Did you check it?
No.
Okay.
Why?
I'm just worried it's crap.
What is?
The quality of the video.
I mean, why would?
That's why you took it. That's why you took the files so you could check it.
Oh, right, because it got saved in like an AFV.
No, FLV. Yeah.
Test? Yeah. Okay. So I asked, what is the last thing you heard? Because we're in communication. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I guess, should we just start over? Let's just start over.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Hey, guys, very sorry about that. Just for, just for the purpose of this video and it existing on YouTube, we're actually going to halt this live stream, and then we're going to be back, like, literally in 2 seconds. And
you want to actually kill the stream?
I want to kill the stream.
Okay.
And hopefully there's a way to get it. There's a way to destroy the stream. We'll start fresh. What do you think?
We just start over now.
Huh?
We start over now.
Well, no, I want. Well, the thing is, it's a chance to relaunch. If people come back and watch this, there won't be this embarrassing part in the beginning.
Thanks, Carolina.
Okay, so.
Hold on. I'll just do this. We're gonna edit it anyway. We'll stop. The
we never do that.
Okay, we're gonna stop the stream.
Yeah, stop the stream. We're back, America. I'm Zach Nanimus.
I'm Johnny Dim.
and I'm Johnny Dim.
I was watching the audio.
Is the audio peaking? No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
There's a AC unit outside that's on, so I was just hoping that wasn't screwing everything up.
Very sorry about that if you've been following our stream so far. But we lost audio because we have this. There's got to be an AC adapter for that thing somewhere. Does it even have a port for it?
I have to check.
We go through this little through this little recorder to increase.
They're called. I can't remember what they're called, but people use them when they're doing a lot of remote locations.
Ghost hunting.
Ghost hunting.
Yeah.
Actually, probably.
No, there's this little thing that like says back to you whatever it records with like a 1.5 second delay.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
yeah. If people listen to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, Johnny Dim. This is episode 109 of the WarPod, the official podcast of the Warlocks Entertainment System, which is your one-stop shop for entertainment news in the Houston area and around the world.
It's not weird if you're watching this on the Quite Contrary channel, because that's part of Warlock's Entertainment System.
The Warlock's Entertainment System is Warlock's Entertainment, Quite Contrary, the Johnny Dim channel, and weirdly enough, the official Hustler Twitter.
Yeah. And there might be a Zach Nanimus channel someday.
There might be one. I actually lost access. I lost access to that account.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I forgot the password, and I was like, Google, I forgot the password. This is definitely me. I can definitely prove it. They were like, wait for an email. Never happened. So I'm just going to have to, like, it didn't have that many subscribers, so I'll just start over.
Right? Might as well.
Yeah. So, Johnny Dim.
That's me.
Today.
Yes.
We are talking about...
Captain Marvel.
Man! I always get them confused. I always get her and Meteor Man confused. What are you looking at, boy?
I don't know. I was just wanted to check the Facebook, see if people were watching it on Facebook, but then this happened.
And the Blue Man Group?
Yeah, the Blue Man Group happened.
Okay.
It looked like a...
Well, stop it. Stop watching Blue Man Group in the middle of your show.
It's hard.
Okay.
You see the Blue Man Group?
Yes. Not in person. Is it something to be held?
Actually, I don't know.
Okay. Hey, we're live now. 2 minutes ago.
Yep. So now we can talk to
people. Oh, look at us. We're boys.
We're boys.
Okay.
The boys are back. Is that a song?
The boys are back in town.
That's the song. I was almost there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
Okay. So I wanted to do this experiment. If you've been watching the live stream thus far, you know this.
Yeah, I know. I put on the new special underwear for you.
Yes.
Why?
Because I wanted to see if it changed your voice.
It didn't.
Cinch it up a little. See, you're probably wearing it wrong. Okay. Johnny.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I want to front load this show. And we usually talk about ourselves first. We're going to go straight into the big news, which is obviously the fact that this is Captain Marvel opening weekend. Love Captain Marvel, hate Captain Marvel. Either way, it's big news. Everybody's talking about it. Johnny Dim and I saw the movie last night at a weirdo showing at like 10:30 p.m.
10:30, then we didn't get out till 1. It was so weird.
Yeah. Although...
I didn't think the movie was that long.
I have to say that was one of the most annoying movie-going experiences of my life, because we went to a movie studio grill.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where you can order food and drinks during. And I think it was like that because it's one of the bigger
theaters there, and it was packed. So there's a lot more commotion, a lot of waiters going in and
No,
out.
ours was Grand Central Station because I couldn't actually like cross my legs like this with the tray in the way.
Oh, you can move the tray.
You can move the tray,
Yeah,
but
then
that
your food's
makes
far
that,
away.
No, I'd finished my food.
Okay.
It was inconvenient for people to pass in front of me.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the wait staff was only going to ours every single
Well, I had to
time.
order my water 3 times, so I had to keep calling the waiters back.
That was you. You son.
They didn't know what they did.
Either way,
All right,
Johnny did.
that's me.
We saw Captain Marvel
Yeah.
on the last live stream, which was 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You had this good idea. We should give our general opinions,
Right.
and then throughout the rest of the course of the episode, we will go into spoilers.
Right. So if you don't want spoilers, you can jump out at that point.
Okay, Johnny Dim.
So
how did you feel about Captain Marvel?
I give Captain Marvel a 58 out of 100.
Well, that's Captain Marvel. How do you feel about Captain Marvel?
58 out of 100. And I did not like it that much. There was too many things that were not necessarily plot points, but they were things that were just a lot of visual things that were jarring, a lot of gimmicks and gags that I thought were just little heavy-handed. Our old adage, ham-fisted, comes to mind. Just
Not
things.
ours.
I know, but we used it a lot. But we, I tried to change it to turkey-fisted, I remember. But anyway, that's aside the point. So anyway,
For kosher reasons?
right.
Okay.
Yeah. We're equal opportunity here.
Okay.
Anyway, so these different things that were going on in the movie just took me out of the movie and helped me not tune in and I'm
Helped
going
you not tune in.
Yeah, I know.
I was really trying.
Oh man.
And this movie helped me at every
man.
opportunity not tune in.
It really distracted me. That's the word I'm looking for. It distracted me from actually paying attention to what was going on and appreciating the movie for what it could have been and what it should have been. And ultimately, I know you're going to touch on this a little bit. I went in excited for this movie because I wanted to see how it fit into Endgame and how we would be introduced to something that would be happening in Endgame and something, I wanted to know. I wanted to know how it fit in, and it just didn't. It could have. We made this point at the end of the movie. It just could not have. It just didn't have to exist.
Yeah.
And that's my take on it. At least my general take on it.
The thing is that I was never excited about the way this would fit into Endgame because accepting the MCU as an arc, it's always been Tony's story.
Right.
And for her first appearance to be so abrupt right before the last movie,
right.
and I haven't read anything specific. The buzz has been. Maybe there's been some specific articles that are telling people that it's going to be this way. The buzz is that Captain Marvel is going to be instrumental in Endgame.
Right.
And that's a weird thing to do in a story. Is like you tell imagine if Lord of the Rings right at the end was solved by a character you rarely see or hadn't seen whatsoever.
It was
the
Eagles.
But the thing about the Eagles is that in the books, they were there more often.
Yeah.
Like you knew who they were, and they had speaking roles and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Eagles speak, but they're tremendous. They're essentially a race.
Okay.
And why they didn't come until the very end is you understand it
right
in the book a little better. But the thing is like even if this mirrors the Eagle thing is something that everybody had a problem with in the Lord of the Rings movies.
They did.
It's a weird thing to do to have this big story.
It was how it should have ended.
Yeah.
And they basically, all right, let's fly. Someone was distracting the Eye of Sauron, and someone just got on the Eagle and flew it to the ring to Mount Doom, and that was it.
Yeah.
Game over.
As a story arc with a protagonist, this is Tony's story. It begins with Tony, and it's weird for another character to swoop in. As an ensemble, this is about a relationship between Captain America. Okay, I would say this is equal parts relationship between Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and Loki.
Sure.
Because Loki was the point of inception when it comes to introducing this problem to us. Captain America was the one who had the first Infinity Stone that we saw, et cetera, et cetera. So as a narrative, I don't understand why Captain Marvel right now. I know they wanted to. I know they wanted to do a female-focused film, which is why I don't understand why they didn't really cancel because it never really got traction. Why not Black Widow? Like she's already in the movies.
They're still officially doing hers. That's still on the docket, just after Endgame.
So why not somebody who's been closer to the problem? Like she was in Iron Man 2. She's been a huge part of this journey.
Yeah.
She's a woman.
Sure.
They wanted to do a female movie. Do her.
Rephrase.
They wanted to have sex. Wait, no. They wanted to do a female movie. They could have cast her in the leading role.
Right.
All right. So, I give this movie a more generous.
Okay.
65%.
That's nice of you.
Now, part of it has to do with the politics. Now, I will say this. I went to see this movie not because I thought it was. I knew that Endgame was going to catch me up if absolutely necessary.
Sure.
But I did want to go into this movie and watch it so that because there's a lot of people who want to hate this movie already because of some inflammatory comments from Brie Larson. They want to automatically hate it.
What did she say?
There were a couple of things. One actually doesn't have to do with the movie. Doesn't have anything to do with the movie at all. And it has to do with something that she said about A Wrinkle in Time. How she said she didn't need 40-year-old white men telling her what didn't work for them about A Wrinkle in Time.
Okay.
And then there was something about a press junket or something like that, where she was saying that she didn't want the press to be overwhelmed with white men.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one is racist and ageist, one is racist and sexist. Actually, they're both sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're inflammatory. They are inflammatory comments. They are based on biased racial thinking. And I know that it's not terribly popular to say that if you're talking about white people, then you're talking about racism. But white's a race. So it is inflammatory.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to go into this completely ambivalent to that, but the movie wouldn't keep. The movie itself actually wouldn't keep the politics out of it. I think that there were two movies.
Sure.
There was the movie as it was, and as a character, Captain Marvel is fun. She's definitely not what they call a Mary Sue, where everything just works out for her. She takes her licks. She makes mistakes. She learns from them. She has to outthink her. She often has to outthink her opponents. Not that bad. But then I think there was this punch up, and that included a bunch of jokes and sight gags and stuff like that are all very misandronistic.
Okay.
And purposefully so. Because you needed your Z-snap moments, and you needed that. That's right. Human males are almost no threat.
Yeah.
See what we did there, which isn't feminism.
Right.
Like it's just misandry.
Right.
And they're two extremely different things because feminism is about equality. Now, if you're going to make jokes at the expense of any gender, fine. Jokes at the expense of a specific gender can be very funny, but it was kind of like a theme in the movie, and it didn't emasculate me or threaten me, but it did make my eyes roll pretty often because it was so bald-faced what they were doing.
If you combined the number of times you eye rolled for different things and the number of times I rolled for different things, that was you were eye rolling every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we're eye rolling for different reasons.
Now, because I believe that was all punch-up stuff, and that there was a core to this movie that was a little bit more honest, that only knocked off 5 points for me.
Sure.
I was at a 70 anyway.
Right.
And that was because it's a super by-the-numbers, slightly boring movie. It's space laser movie. The thing about Captain Marvel, what made Captain Marvel interesting and compelling, or especially Miss Marvel, they threw a lot of this stuff away because leading up to Miss Marvel, you have the Marvel characters, which are a few people, and they all have something to do with dichotomy. the dichotomy of the human experience, where there was one of them, he had these things called the cosmic bands, and like he had to smash them together, and it was always a choice to do so because he became Captain Marvel, and like that's a different guy. And what made Miss Marvel interesting, and I've said this on the show before, what made Miss Marvel interesting was that Miss Marvel and Carol Danvers, when she first became Miss Marvel, didn't know that the other one existed. When she had the seventh sense and sensed crime out in New York City, she would get a migraine and she'd go lay down, and then like a second later, Miss Marvel would explode out of her form. She's like, "Why am I in this apartment? Screw this apartment!" And like all the while, Carol Danvers was running a magazine called Women,
Right.
which, by the way, stupid name, J. Jonah Jameson's idea. She didn't want to call it Women, and she definitely didn't want to report on what J. Jonah Jameson wanted her to report on.
Right.
And so she kept focusing on Miss Marvel, which sold a lot of magazines. And I'm not saying that it's bad because it's not like the comic book. What I am saying is that Miss Marvel as a concept, as presented in this movie, by comparison, is more boring.
Sure.
She just flies and projects energy.
Shoots lasers.
That's it.
Before we start getting into spoiler territory, I did want to say one more thing. I said because I remember I said this in our failed stream earlier. I was not impressed by Brie Larson's performance in the slightest at all.
Kind of wooden.
Huh?
Kind of wooden.
Oh, wooden.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say very robotic. And I made this joke earlier in this chat room, but I was going to say the Warlocks chat. Okay. But I thought that actually that Vision actually shows more range than she does. Like she is like stone faced the entire time. She delivers every line so stale, so boring.
Vision isn't supposed to be without emotion.
Right, but but he's not. He's an artificial intelligence. That's why it's such a and he's actually learning how to be more human. Yeah, because that's what he does. He's an artificial intelligence. But anyway, so she like I was gonna say this isn't much of a spoiler, but from the beginning, like she was training with Jude Law, and he told her to watch her emotion and dial back her emotion and you know all this kind of stuff. And I was like, by the end of the movie, I was like, yeah. No problem. She did fine with not showing much emotion. She was so boring.
Okay, giving credit where credit's due. Brie Larson. Okay, there were times where I didn't really notice it until her friend Rambo showed up. Yeah. When she was playing opposite of her, where I was like, because Rambo was a serviceably subtle character. Who I didn't know whether or not she was going to get any action sequences, but just in their back and forth, I was like, okay, so Brie Larson's face isn't doing much because her face obviously is doing a lot, right? And you're reading stuff. You're reading what's going on with her the entire time.
The actress who played Rambo, she had there was this one part where she actually had to really emote, where she had to. It was a really sad scene, and she did a great job at that scene. And I was just like, I couldn't help but compare that to any scene where Brie Larson had to do anything.
Well, after that point, I started looking at like, okay, what ought she be feeling here? And I was like, okay, so there should be trepidation, fear, pain. And I was waiting for these things, and they didn't pay off very, very much. It was very much what you see behind us, actually. That face goes on and on forever and ever and ever in the movie.
It does.
But credit where credit's due. For a movie that had its own smile gate about it because of that guy that's like, give us a smile, sister.
Oh right, yeah.
She actually does giggly pretty well. When it was time to be giggly, when somebody cracked a joke or she was happy to see somebody, she would just brighten up, and it was almost scary. It was like, hey.
No, you're right. And what was
she picked one and she stuck with it.
Those scenes, they were one of the more not the more jarring, but one of the things that I thought was jarring. And you got to tell me if I'm wrong or right. I don't know if I'm just seeing this where I was just really tired, but I felt like the editing during some of those scenes was really weird.
I didn't notice the editing.
Okay, because it was almost painfully obvious that most of the performances were done when they were performing them against nothing else. There was nothing there. Even like the cockpit scenes. I felt like definitely Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson's scenes were filmed completely separately. I know that may not be uncommon, but for some reason I felt like it was almost too obvious the way they did it. But I could be wrong.
There was one that I absolutely noticed.
Yeah.
But then again, there are some scenes in this movie where it's like way too obvious that Captain Marvel is just CG.
Right. Oh, those were painfully obvious.
Yeah, they looked like they looked like a PlayStation 3 cutscene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like a full motion video cut. Wait, were they still using full motion video in by the PS3 era? I feel like they maybe weren't.
I don't know.
So maybe like a PlayStation 2 full motion video. Like it's not just polygons. It doesn't look like a video game character, but it's very obviously not a human.
Right.
Okay, so that is Captain Marvel aside from the politics.
Right.
Aside from the politics that weren't injected directly into the movie.
And we didn't do any spoilers on this particular. We can do those now.
So we're going into spoilers.
Yeah.
Johnny Darn.
That's me.
Johnny Duped.
Yes.
Johnny Dangle.
Yes.
You want to talk about some spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay, what specifically do you want to talk about?
The cat was stupid.
The cat was stupid.
The cat was the worst. That was one of those gimmicks that I rolled my eyes every time.
Yeah.
Because you knew that the cat was going to pay off somehow because how hard Samuel L. Jackson's character, well, I could just say Fury, leaned into the cat even being there.
I thought that was going to be a throwaway joke that like, oh, the hardened
no, I think
Nick Fury.
Yeah, I think he laid it on too thick.
Yeah.
I was like, something's going to happen with that cat. Something is going to happen with that cat.
So
and by the way, you can skip the after credits scene. It is so dumb. I heard it multiple times around us. Everyone's like, we waited like 10, 15 minutes for that?
Well, that's what they do now. The mid-credit scene
is the one that you need to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But even the shawarma scene back in the Avengers movie, the original one, that was funny to me. This cat thing was not funny. I thought it was dumb.
As far as I think that the animators like went to a great deal of effort.
They did.
To make it look exactly the way that a cat does when it's vomiting. It looked really good.
Yes. It was visually impressive.
Yeah.
It was quite a thing.
It does tell you how we got a hold of the Tesseract again.
Yeah, but someone else gets it.
Yeah, actually,
someone else is going to get it before. What was that? Captain America, the first Avenger, right? It's in that movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So before that movie, between these two, wait.
That actually, yeah, it made me.
Now I'm getting the timeline all mixed up because Captain America starts in the 1940s.
Yes, the first time we see the Tesseract.
Yeah.
It is in this like. It is being protected by some sort of cult in a shrine.
Right.
There's a guy. He's like the last gatekeeper.
Where does it end up? Whose hands does it end up in the end of the movie?
By the end of that movie.
Does the American government have it?
Maybe he was frozen? No, was he frozen with it?
No, he couldn't have been. Or was he? He wasn't. He didn't have it with him.
Oh, Captain Marvel.
My.
Yeah, that's gonna be its whole thing. You know,
tracking the Tesseract.
We're really only concerned with like how the movie went.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll find out later.
Yeah. Now the Tesseract as a plot point for me is key because this movie is supposed to be the movie that tells you why Captain Marvel is gonna save the MCU, and how she's gonna crack Thanos on the jaw.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're supposed to be so excited about.
Which they didn't really hit on.
No.
The Tesseract exists, and it's an Infinity Stone. And in the course of the movie, she gets bathed in the radiation of the Tesseract.
Correct.
So I guess there's something of the Infinity Gems in her that may be able to help. But
I'm sorry. I know I said this in our failed stream, but it bothers me a little bit that she's taking the place of Adam Warlock in this story.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be the guy who comes in and does stuff.
And I remember saying I didn't care. And we were actually outside of the spoilers thing. The Skrulls completely misrepresented in this movie, and I don't care. And I don't care that the Skrulls have always been the worst bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Actually, I found the Skrulls really charming in this movie.
They were great. The one guy who did the I was talking to Terry about this. The guy who played the main Skrull, who basically made the deal.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yes, he was really cool.
And apparently, I think he did. I'll find out. I'm gonna do an IMDb search, but I think he did something else that I was really impressed with.
But well, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
No, just
You were going on a scroll thing, and then
on a Skrull thing.
That's what you were talking about when I interrupted. I think.
Yeah, I just if this was going to be something about the energy of the Infinity Gems being inside of her, they could have at least given one line that was like, "Whatever was in that core, it's inside you now."
Right.
You know.
Something.
But even then, like, I think it's super weird that she's the character to solve the MCU problems, because her powers aren't interesting enough.
Right.
To fight Thanos, you know, if we were gonna take Captain Marvel and make her a character that was interesting enough, let me say this: her powers aren't interesting enough because it's basically punching. You know,
right.
I throw energy, I fly, and I'm durable. You know, and like the Avengers already had all of those things covered, but still couldn't manage to do it.
Yeah, they have Thor.
You have to outfox Thanos.
This is the guy.
Oh, he was the best part of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, but you need to outfox Thanos. You need to be able to outthink him,
right.
Or you need to have like a conceptual power, like being a telepath or a mind controller or a time jumper or a trans-dimensional being. You can't just punch him because they tried, you know. They tried with the power of an individual who could literally stand on the surface of the sun,
right,
and they found him wanting. He wasn't enough.
Right.
So you can't play Thanos' game. You can't fight his power with power because he has all the power in the universe. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen with Gauntlet, blah, 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 blah. Here's my guess. Because she has the power of the Infinity Gems inside of her, she'll be able to pick up that ruined Gauntlet and re-energize it, and she'll have the power of the cosmos itself.
And that's going to be basically the Band-Aid device at the end after they've already solved the other problems.
I guess.
That's my guess.
Well, they'll have to fight to that point.
Yeah, they have to fight, and then she won't be the answer of the fight. But she will be the person who can finally bring the galaxy back together, back the way it was before.
Yeah, she'll have the Gauntlet.
Right.
So I guess, but
then Adam Warlock shows up and he's like, "That's my gauntlet."
Read the goddamn story. Because Adam Warlock does next to nothing.
I know, you've told me. I know. I think I have that comic.
It's right there.
Is it in that one, you think?
Yeah, that's the complete Warlock.
Okay. No, it's only the Jim Starlin version.
I think he did Infinity Gauntlet.
All right. I just haven't finished it. But I also bought... Marvel did this really cool thing a little while back where they put out all these dollar comics of these old classic stories.
True Believers?
I think that's right. Yeah. I bought a few of those. And I think one of them was the Infinity War.
There's either True Believers or maybe something else. I'm not sure. Either way, I don't know. Is there much more to say? Oh, there was one thing I wanted to say because we were talking about it as a movie from a didactic standpoint, and I'm a didactic storyteller. They were talking about the whole reining in of emotions thing. To me, that never paid off.
Oh yeah, we disagreed about this.
Yeah, if there was a thesis to this movie, it was like what solves the problem in the end.
Sure, okay. In that way, no, it does not pay off. But I felt like the reason that he had a reason for doing that, and it's more of a logical thing than more of a some type of problem solving overarching story type of reason. And
But it was highly logical. She thought out her problem. The inhibitor on the back of her neck. She noticed that it was messing with her, which I feel like probably should have noticed earlier.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
That no other Kree has one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that's right. He tricked her into saying that he gave her that power, and that the thing gives her the ability that she had.
Right.
That was the twist. That little twisty thingy there. But no, I thought it was fine because he was telling her to keep her emotions in check because he knew that that's the more emotional she got, the more powerful she got. And so in that way, she's kind of like the Hulk.
But that's not even how she did it. She literally just ripped it off, I think.
Right, but I think she was feeling that like that was the wall. Like she would become more emotional, but she felt like she wasn't getting it wasn't working because of the inhibitor.
Yeah.
So I think that she just put 2 and 2 together.
And also her powers weren't emotional. Like all she had to do was take off the inhibitor, and then after that she was essentially like a female Spider-Man, like just joking around.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it didn't make complete sense.
No.
Because
how she figures out that she needs to do this and she needs to stand up to the supreme intelligence is she has remembered her past, and she remembers all the times that she fell off a bike ramp or literally exploded in a go-kart race. And every time this happens to her, she stands up. That's her thing. She stands up. And she's ready to take another one.
And she nailed that pose.
Yeah.
That's like the pose she had like throughout the movie.
Yeah.
She was strong in her. I felt in her presence.
Yeah. So just from a writing standpoint, this story should have been about perseverance and the power of stick-to-itiveness. You know?
You're right. And
the idea that if we fall, we still stand back up.
Sure.
That's fine. They just didn't do it.
No, they didn't.
They didn't talk about it.
They didn't really connect with that.
And it wasn't the thing that Jude Law, as the deceiving mentor character, tried to inhibit within her. He was never saying, sometimes you just have to give up. That's what he should have been saying.
Right.
Like, sometimes you have to retreat. Sometimes you have to know when you're beyond your depth. Sometimes you have to back down. And what would have solved the problem, after him saying all that, is her standing up once again, ignoring what he was saying, which was holding her back.
You sold that beautifully. I would have much preferred that.
Yeah.
But I guess the only little payoff that I got that I felt somewhat.
Why are we stopped?
Oh, I paused it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
We should probably just keep it going, just in case there's a problem.
No, I can just check the other ones. Is that one stopped too?
Are they all stopped? Is Twitch stopped?
No, we're fine.
Okay, when you pause it, does it pause them all?
Not from YouTube. Oh, there, it's going. It just wasn't on this. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
I'll pull it back up.
Yeah.
No, okay, so what I was saying, so the only payoff that I felt some satisfaction as far as the emotional, let's keep that down type of thing, like he was trying to push her down her emotion, was the last confrontation with her and Jude Law. I thought that was actually funny. I liked it.
No, it totally worked.
Yeah, because he was trying to trick her into going one-on-one without using her powers because he knew he could win.
Yeah.
And because he does. He wins in hand-to-hand combat against her at the beginning of the movie. And then she just basically says, no, I'm going to use the thing I have an advantage over you. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to just blast you in the shoulder or whatever.
She says another theatical standpoint, which had no build-up in the movie, and so it wasn't a payoff.
Right.
It's like, I have nothing to prove to you.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, they didn't stay with that throughout the course of the movie. It would have been a nice payoff if that was what the theming was.
And the thing is that by the end of it, I knew what happened.
Yeah.
Because this movie had like 2 directors, 4 writers, and 5 story editors.
Yeah.
So
that would make sense.
It was a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, a little messy.
On top of just not being cool enough. Like, the thing about it, like, she is boring for all the same reasons that Superman is.
I agree.
Like, she just flies around, punches stuff, and to a degree it doesn't feel earned. I
still think we get, in some stories of Superman, we do get more emotion out of him.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it like.
But yeah, story-wise, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
They should have introduced the dichotomy. Now, some fans have a problem with the way that Miss Marvel was represented in the comic book. So you don't necessarily have to mirror Miss Marvel, but take into account the dichotomy, and you can tell an interesting story about how some people wear multiple masks, and you know. And they tried to do that. I had super high hopes for this movie right at the beginning, because we start taking a journey through her mind.
Oh yeah. I actually loved where they could have gone with that, but to me, I felt that payoff wasn't very good.
Yeah.
No, because we could have done some really cool stuff with that. And my first thought actually was that the whole movie was going to be in her mind.
Yes.
And I thought that would have been fun to mess with. You know, and then she finally overcomes whatever's, you know, trying to stop her.
Maybe the third act.
Yeah.
Being all inside, being all in the real world.
Yeah.
And like an actual tie-in Endgame. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like maybe she's already in that.
She should have got sucked into something like that. Should like the end should have been like a sacrifice on her part.
Just wasn't.
And she gets pulled into maybe like she could have got pulled in to the Kismet.
I don't know what the Kismet is.
It's a realm of it is the realm of your own destiny.
Okay.
Like it's literally a spatial place, and this place represents all the different paths your own destiny could have gone down, and you can choose one.
Nice.
And so if she gets pulled into the Kismet right at the end, and once again going back to the idea of dichotomy, we could have even talked about things like fatalism and stuff like that. And because the power of the Infinity Gems have something to do with this, then not the In-Betweener, because I hate the In-Betweener. This is a stupid idea for a character. Sorry, Jim. But you know, like some sort of guiding hand who is like saying it is your fate, you know, to be nothing but a human. And it's like it's okay to be nothing but a human, but I still have powers, whatever. And something inspirational. And then she eventually gets pulled all the way into the Kismet. And by the end of the movie, she's lost.
Right.
So she could literally like pop out of the gauntlet at the end. You know, that would make some sense. I don't know. But I will say this. I went ahead and looked up Rotten Tomatoes after I formed my opinions on this movie.
I did too.
Yeah. Audiences...
It got higher.
Huh?
It got higher, I think, than it was initially.
Oh, the wanna see?
No. I think it didn't go from 60-something to 70-something?
Oh, I'm talking about audience score.
I never look at that.
Audience score is the most important one.
It is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because the...
Everyone uses their 6 fake accounts to influence it.
There's 6 fake accounts?
Yeah, everyone has 6, exactly 6.
Right, but the thing is that critics, they go with popular opinion.
No, that's not true entirely.
Yeah.
In fact, I know some critics go opposite of what they think most people would like, kind of like we do.
Right, but we're not part of the 79, we're part of the 52. Because we're considered audience.
I got $1 once for doing one of these videos. So
did you?
We're professionals.
Right. But did you sign up to be part of this
certified? No, but maybe I should. Maybe I should start my own movie blog.
Okay. Do it.
Still, but I wouldn't like this movie, so.
Yeah.
But no, it's a 79% for the critics and 52% for the audience score.
Yeah.
Currently. I didn't even look at the audience score earlier.
And you know what? If it's inflated with false accounts, then there aren't enough people who like this movie who have the gumption enough to make 6 fake accounts to make their voice equally heard.
Everyone's always it's always the people who are more negatively motivated are going to impact
their colons.
Yes. But no, it's always the vocal minority that's always making an uproar on the internet.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. I don't know what to take away from that. I mean, it's much closer. It's much closer to what I believe the movie deserves than what you do.
Right. So, wouldn't this be a sign that you trust it?
No, it's just that I agree with it. Doesn't mean I trust it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's completely 2 different things.
Yeah, you know what? I can respect that.
Yeah.
Either way, that's our feelings on Captain Marvel. Do you think you need to see it to watch Endgame?
No.
No. Like
no.
If Endgame doesn't catch you up with all of the Endgame specific stuff that happened to this movie,
there's gonna be a lot of ketchup in that movie.
Yeah, there has to be.
Because of all the burgers.
You card. You rogue. You got me.
No, but there will be a lot of catching up in that movie because they're gonna have to catch you up on the first Infinity War and this movie.
But they don't. Like it's.
They're going to.
Yeah. Like, do you know what the Tesseract is? Yes. Why? I saw it once. Okay. Like that's all you get out of this movie.
That's all you really need.
Yeah. I saw the Tesseract once.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just way disappointed that it didn't give us something more about Endgame.
Yeah.
That really bums me out.
Specifically because it's so close. But we've been how long have we been harping on this? Well, you can tell it's
I can't because we started again. Oh, I guess I got the thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not tied into that right now.
Okay.
It's long enough. It's probably about 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
But we got another thing to talk about.
We have another thing to talk about besides ourselves? We haven't even talked about ourselves yet.
What are we gonna, oh, we can do that, but then we got to talk about Umbrella Academy because we got an update.
What's the update?
Your feelings on it?
Oh, that? Oh, okay. There's a public redaction.
Yeah.
I saw the Umbrella Academy while actually paying attention to it instead of drawing, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I was surprised at how good it was.
I would give it 8.5.
85.
Yes, 85.
I gave it, I believe me and Jeremy did our own scoring, and I think I told him 90, I think I said 93 or 94.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There were something, and you know, I think the 85 for me was just the frustration of watching them make so many of their own problems. And the thing is, it's a whole series. Some people are busy. I don't want to go into too many spoilers.
I think that's part of what made it good, is because their flaws are so, their character flaws are what kind of drives the story.
I stand by what I always said. The stuff when they were kids should have been bright and shiny and like golden age comics.
I loved how they did it.
Yeah, not quite as violent, and then they grow into these psychopaths.
I think they were from the beginning because they were being raised by a psychopath.
Right, but I think that in that it should have been a little bit more idealism, just a little bit more idealism.
I gotcha.
Which, by the way, we learned that Reginald was just wrong about the way he went about it.
Yeah.
Entirely.
There's a lot of things that still need to be answered though, because about what he knew and why he knew it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so redaction. I don't remember what I said last time. I feel like it was like a 60.
You were having trouble getting into it because you were like 2 or 3 episodes in,
Yeah.
and it wasn't catching you.
I restarted.
Good, you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I've been creating Umbrella Academy T-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah. If you search Johnny Dim on TeePublic, you'll find me.
The rumor has it you ain't got no butt anymore.
It's one of the shirts.
The rumor has it.
Not the butt part.
The rumor has it. The rumor has it. The rumor has it. The rumor has it.
That's enough.
The rumor has it.
Quite enough.
It was not enough for Adele.
I know.
Not even close.
I know.
Not even half.
She sings a little better than you.
Will you do the ooze?
No.
After every rumor has it, ooh, and
is there?
Yeah, say rumor has it.
Rumor has it.
Ooh.
Rumor has it.
Ooh.
Rumor has it.
Ooh.
People are gonna tune out.
All right. Was that the only other thing we had to talk about?
Yep.
Okay. Then let's give a little bit of insight into our lives and worlds. Johnny Dim.
That's me.
What you playing?
Oh God.
It's kind of a big question.
What have I been playing?
You can also have been watching.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yeah. Someone's at the door. I think it's Mr. McFeely. Why didn't you let him in?
Let's go see. You keep them. You can tell them about yourself.
I'll tell him what I'm doing.
Tell them about our adventure last night.
Our adventure last night? We went to see a movie.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Story over.
I was dressed phenomenally. Johnny, is Johnny wearing the same outfit? I think that dirty bastard might be wearing the same outfit. That old dirty bastard. Okay. Lately, I've been getting into Bleach. Just because I'm kind of out of shows to watch, and I've been trying to draw while watching it. I completely restarted from last time because I forgot pretty much everything about it, and I keep hearing that all these shonens are good. Like, people are telling me, and I know that these are old now. I know these are old. People are telling me, check out One Piece, check out Fairy Tail, check out Bleach. And check out Hunter x Hunter. And my thing about all of them, for the most part, is that I hate them. Now, I don't dislike anime. But I wouldn't say that I'm a fan of anime. What I'm a fan of is good things. And so I'm not going to judge anything. I'm not going to say, ooh, that's good because it's anime, or ooh, that's bad because it's anime. I'm just going to look at it and say, I enjoyed that or I didn't. Now, a shonen that I liked when I was a little younger, and I'm still pretty much okay with, was Naruto. And Naruto, as an idea, I thought was fine. Okay, if you don't know much about anime, so shonens have a formula, and that formula is that you have a what do you call it? You have an association. An association of extraordinary people, and these extraordinary people have mentors, and they take the path up to becoming as powerful as their mentor, and then wow, whoever decided to show up today is loud. In addition, part of their learning to become as powerful as their mentors is that they take on jobs, not like workaday jobs. Like in Naruto, they have a job posting board, and you have a level of ninja that you are, and then a level of job that it is. So if you're a C ninja, you should take C jobs. And if you feel like you deserve a promotion, you might try a B, but be careful, with the understanding that you might die in the process. And all that made sense for the culture that they set up in Naruto. What I didn't know is that lots of shonens follow that formula, and I find it annoying. Like it's a reason for them to be Monster of the Week shows. It's a reason for them to be like, okay, why are we introducing this new colorful villain and then getting rid of him in just a few episodes? Well, because there's a job board. And I just think of it, okay, it was charming the first time I saw it, but I didn't need every single one to be like that. I really noticed it in Hunter x Hunter. Bleach, the reason that I'm giving it a second shot is because it feels a little bit more like Dragon Ball Z. Yes, there's an association of people, and they do these amazing things, and they're mentor characters, but everything flows a little bit more organically. I think his name is Ichiko. He's not going to a job board, or sitting in a classroom and being like, okay, here are your responsibilities, everybody. So like all the other ones feel a little bit like it was Final Fantasy. I think it was called Final Fantasy Type 0, where it's literally centered around an academy. I know what you're thinking. So the Umbrella Academy is a shonen? No, because that once again has everything to do with growth and a journey, and not almost completely unaffiliated circumstances, no coincidence, where it's just, okay, these are bad guys, I'm a hero, bring it together. The whole story is self-referential, folds back on itself, and you understand why these heroes are doing what they're doing and why they're doing it. Instead of something like, say, Superman. Superman just was a Monster of the Week character, and that's the that's the format for a lot of comic books, is just introduce a new and interesting villain. Superman punches him, and then we're done here. And then sometime after the 90s, Superman comes back from the dead, and then all of the comic book creators are like, we'll bring everybody back from the dead, and now nothing matters. Which actually is why, to a certain degree, I don't buy in to all of to lots of superhero comic books lately. Of the comic books that I follow, I'm following Go-Go Power Rangers right now, but it is definitely like within an arc, and also it's not a Monster of the Week. Like, it's always Rita. Unless they
classic.
Unless they what they did recently was the Shattered Grid event, and like that was like a potential version of Tommy, and so like there's an understanding as to why all of these characters are actually interacting with one another, instead of it just being like, I'm the Penguin, I'm the new guy in town, punch, for no reason.
I have a question.
Johnny is not wearing the same outfit as he was yesterday. It is just incredibly similar. Yes. Put on your mic.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure it's on.
Yeah. So my question is...
Yes.
The Power Rangers.
Yes.
There was something else I was reading, and I think we both talked about this before, how they were planning a storyline in the shows where like Tommy would become part of like the head of this organization that would have all the different teams of Power Rangers, and it became this really cool thing where he ended up becoming the bad guy.
It was like a shape, right? It was like
Yeah,
it was like
hexagon.
yeah,
something
or
or other.
octagon, something like that.
I'm wondering if they're ever going to visit that in the comics, since we'll probably never see it on the screen.
I mean, that's kind of what Shattered Grid was.
It kind of was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Shattered Grid, if you're interested in it, okay, spoilers for Shattered Grid. So the conceit is that all of the different versions of Power Rangers are different, are alternate realities, and in one of these realities, Tommy killed Rita, and absorbed her powers into his coin and became Lord Draken, and he developed technology to not only steal Power Rangers' abilities and force them into himself, which why you're a Power Ranger is a connection to something called the Morphin Grid. Yes, with an N apostrophe, not a G. So you get connected to the Morphin Grid, and that power coming into you is what allows you to morph.
Okay.
And what he wanted to do was gain so much power from so many different Power Rangers that he would enter the grid and become one with it. And in the course of doing so, he learned how to take Power Rangers' powers away, and he also learned how to manufacture these powers, literally giving minions of his own individual Power Ranger abilities. Like they had the Black Ranger Squadron, which were all heavy artillery because they had the Mastodon, they all had the Mastodon powers. So they had like these big batteries that are just vaulting stuff. And
you notice my eyes are glassing over.
You might remember a long time ago when we were talking to the Stranger Danger Power Hour, the Command Center Power Hour.
It was Ranger Command Power Hour or something. That's as close as we're gonna get.
Yeah, and we were talking about how we just can't sit through Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You try this one. You try this one."
Yeah.
And they gave you RPM, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only watched the first episode.
Well, Dr. K, from that show. Why is he doing that? Dr. K from that show was instrumental in that story, which I thought was really interesting. I'd have to say that RPM is probably one of the better ones. It's still not perfect. Power Rangers is largely, I don't know, it's largely a promise unanswered, because it's a super cool idea, and the execution has never been particularly good. It's always, bleh. Anyway, I wish I knew where Johnny was. Looking forward, because we've been talking a little bit about in-game. I'm not really excited. I'm not really excited about in-game, because honestly, like Captain Marvel got a 6.5 out of me, and Black Panther gets like a 7 to 7.5. And Doctor Strange, I think, also got a 7.5 out of me, because they're just doofy. They're doofy movies. They're kind of throwaway action flicks, and to my thinking, I can't remember which one came first. Which one came last or most recently? Either Captain America: The Winter Soldier or Avengers 2. Okay, I think of those as the two best movies the two best and most recent. And whichever one came most recently was the last good one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was talking about looking for, like, whether or not we're looking forward to in-game. And me personally, not really, because the quality in the movies has taken a sharp nosedive, where you might say Winter Soldier and Avengers 2 were, dare I say, good movies. You know, these are superhero movies. These are meh.
You said Avengers 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Avengers.
I like that one. Okay.
Avengers are good. Avengers 2.
I agree with that. They're both of those are good movies. But I actually did like the first Infinity War movie, and I am excited for in-game.
Nothing made sense in that movie. Nothing.
Logical sense, that was lacking because everyone realizes that Thanos' plan, excuse me, Thanos' plan and Thanos' philosophy didn't match. They didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Logically, because what he could have done with that gauntlet just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like
what it sounds like to me, and the reason that I'm okay with it though is because it does sound like someone's like a deluded cult-like person, like what's his name down in Ghana or Guyana, Jim Jones, you know.
Okay.
He was he's the one who poisoned basically all of his followers.
Yeah.
And himself. And like that's the level of delusion I think Thanos is. And if you take that approach, it makes some sense. He's just dead set on there's too much life, let's take out half of it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of devotion he has.
The thing that they didn't address in the movie, which they did address in the comic books, is that when you take up the gauntlet, you become the smartest thing in existence. You have access to absolutely everybody's knowledge.
I'm glad they didn't do that in the movies.
Right.
Because then it would have been completely different.
In the comic book, they say that is the most difficult aspect of the gauntlet to master. And you don't really start thinking about your own infinite intellect until some practice with the gauntlet. You know, they didn't really talk about his mental capacity with the gauntlet because if you have a problem and you have the gauntlet, you can just say, okay, Infinity Brain, give me the best answer. That'll make everybody happy and definitely work.
Right, and I think that's problematic.
You know what he could have done? This is, I don't know why he didn't do this in the first place in the original Infinity story. How about 2 wishes? Because you get infinite.
Right.
2 wishes. Destroy half the people. Make the other half forget the other half ever existed.
That would have been humane.
Instantaneous gratification.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? Now he burned out his gauntlet with 1 wish. You can boil that down. Make half the population never have existed, and there goes the memories too. Or
just have a whole bunch of wishes and just make it 1 run-on sentence, and you're good. Magic, it's weird. Were you telling people what you've been watching or playing?
Yeah.
Okay. What did I miss? Just give me the Cliff Notes.
Bleach. I've been watching Bleach.
Cool. The anime?
Yes.
Okay.
No. The product.
With my eyes. Just been dousing my eyes with bleach.
Okay. Did we talk about did we even get into you?
Some. I was going to say I rewatched some of Peaky Blinders with Frank.
Okay.
And that was a good refresher because it's a good show. She didn't realize I hadn't watched the 3rd season yet, so she started watching it without me, and I got really mad.
There's no way that show's good.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, it is.
There's no way that show's good.
It's a little cheesy that the way they use like Irish punk and these stupid flames effects.
Yeah.
But it's these just the scenes where they're walking down the cobblestone streets and they're trying to look badass.
Okay.
They do the music and the fire effects is really cheesy, but they stopped doing that I think towards the end of the 2nd season.
Is that the one where Tom Hardy is all like got the makeup and he's like on a stage?
You know about that one?
I know it exists. It's a meme.
Oh, okay. No, that's from Bronson.
Bronson.
Yeah, that's Bronson.
Charles Bronson. I feel like very loose interpretation of the life and times of Charles Bronson.
It's not Charles Bronson. He's got another first name, but it's basically it's based on a true story. It's very dramatized, but it's about the most notorious, most violent criminal in English prison system.
Okay.
And it's really good. That's when I first started really appreciating and getting a really large boner for Tom Hardy.
You must have really liked Venom.
Actually, I did. I didn't really. It was good.
I thought that Venom was one of the more charming superhero movies to come out recently.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom Hardy's great, but Tom Hardy is in Peaky Blinders. But he plays a Jew gangster.
Thank you for throwing that one in there.
It's a big part of the role.
See,
all of his cohorts.
Does he kill people with with a menorah?
No, he prefers a gun.
A-
But
A gun that shoots dreidels.
yeah. No, he runs like it's some type of whiskey or
Risky.
yeah, or rum something. He runs a distillery, and yeah, he plays
Not-
he plays the head of the Jewish mafia.
Not Menashevitz?
I don't think so.
Okay. No, what was I going to say
His
about...
performance is great.
I can't remember what I was going to say about Peaky Blinders.
You used to make fun of the name
Oh,
because you thought I
no.
was saying something else.
No. We were you were talking about Irish gang things. I saw the weirdest thing. It was an advertisement for some Irish whiskey, and like the whole thing like he picks up the bottle of Irish whiskey, and behind it is this sign in his own bar, by the way, and he's Irish, that says "No Irish need apply," and like it was just a lot of hemming and hawing and lamenting about the fact that we used to say "No Irish need apply" to some jobs, and I was like, did we fix that one?
A while ago.
Could have sworn that one was behind us. No, I'm part Irish, you can tell. And I've never...
I am too. I got my 23andMe, so I'm a little Irish.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've lost jobs because of my drinking, but I don't think that was...
That was good.
And I can say it, I'm part Irish. Nyeh.
Yeah, that's their word.
Yeah, drunk. All right. So, Johnny Dim, I think that we're slowly grinding to a halt on this one. How do you feel?
It sounds about
The
right.
thing is that you've been gone for like 20 minutes.
I apologize. Not my fault.
So I have been just
Just
American Warrior level streams of consciousness over here.
there's a
Us
joke.
complaining about anime.
Yeah.
That is like not our show.
I apologize. I'm not trying to make this a political thing, and it's not.
Okay.
But it's related to politics because Trump was asked not long ago about his about how heavily Fox News and other right-wing pundits influence his decisions, and he went off a tangent about this praise for Rush Limbaugh and how he can go 3 hours without taking a phone call, and so you're on par with Rush Limbaugh.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good job.
I guess all I need is suspenders and congestive heart failure.
And you had to do coke for a spell.
Coke for a spell?
Yeah, or that
That's how he gains his arcane powers? Coke for a spell, young man.
It's the coke spell. I think it was coke. He did an illegal drug for a little while and got caught, and then he's off of it now.
Okay.
Apparently, I don't know.
All right. I mean, that doesn't matter to me.
Cool.
Yeah, drugs don't matter to me. It doesn't make me think one way or the other about you.
Oh no,
Unless
yeah.
you're addicted, then I only think you should seek help.
Right. And do your needles in front of people who care.
I guess.
That was a weird thing to say, but the reason I said it.
But it's definitely the note we're gonna go out. On that note, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. It was a thing. There's another country. They can go. They do the thing.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe in whatever form that takes on the platform that you are taking in our gorgeous faces and docile tones.
Now?